my name is Amanda Valdivia. This is week 2 of Anatomy Physiology Bio 240. Today we will be dissecting the sheep heart. Very complex system. The cardiovascular system is very complex. I've had fun digging into this. It was very hard. I'm not going to say it was easy. So let's get started. I'm going to identify for you 10 things. It'll be the right atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle, interventricular sulcus, the aorta, the papillary muscles, the tricuspid valve, capillaries, bicuspid valve, and the brachycephalic artery. I have everything listed here on my paperwork, so I'm ready to go, and hopefully I don't butcher it. All right, so I've already cut in half my taken pictures for my labeling. So I've taken off all the fat. I've gotten everything ready for the dissection. There's a lot of fat on this sheep heart. So that sheep had a lot of chips for snacks. So on this side, we can see that this is the posterior part of the sheep heart. And you can tell because it has a like bulky side to it. That's how I can tell the back of it. And in the front here, it's more smooth. So in the front here, we have the anterior interventricular sulca, which is the line here that goes in between the sides of the heart, the anterior portion of the heart. So I've also cut it in half here. It's not the best, but it works. Let me start with the posterior, the posterior side of the sheep heart. We have the inferior vena cava, which is this here, the inferior vena cava. And then we have the superior vena cava. So if we turn it, so that's the back part of the superior vena cava, obviously. And then we have the superior vena cava, which is just here. So if I were to run my finger through, obviously it would go through, but it would be this portion here, okay? And then we have the aorta here. And I butchered that pretty well, but it's still there. And so that's the aorta. And this is, like I said before, this is the inferior part and this is the anterior part. So if we look through the posterior part, we'll start there. If we look through the posterior part of the sheep heart, we can see the aorta here, okay? The superior vena cava, the left atrium, which is here. And I want to describe something. So when we're looking at the heart, naturally this would be our left and this would be our right. So we have to think of it as left and right, as if, looking forward. So this is the left here, and then this is the right. So this is the left atrium here, okay? And just below that, we have the mitral valve, or the bicuspid valve, and that is the centerpiece here, okay? We have papillary muscle, which is pretty clear. It's hard, it's slimy-like, and that is the papillary muscle. We have a lot of capillaries. These are all capillaries here, if I'm not mistaken. And they kind of look like, what can I relate that to? It kind of looks like a waffle print, I guess you can say. And those are all veins and capillaries. And then we have the left ventricle. So looking at it this way, it's kind of hard because of the way that it sits. But yeah, so if we look through, and there's just a lot more fat here. If we look at the anterior portion of the heart, there's halves of everything because I cut everything in half, that way we can see both. So if you look at it here, this is the aorta here, but when we attach it, it'd be attached here, right? So then it would go through here. So there's that. Let's see, so there's like a funny little looking, and I cut that in half as well. There's like a funny little, we'll look at the anterior, the superior portion of the sheep heart, this is the superior portion of the sheep part, and then down here is the bottom portion, which we call the apex. This is the apex of the heart. Okay. Okay. So we have this weird little. It looks like a flower growing out of the heart. That is the auricle of the right atrium. The right atrium is here. Okay. This is the right atrium because we did our posterior, which was the left, right? And then this is the right side. So this is the right atrium here. And then we have the interventricular septum. Okay. So it's just like the meaty portion here. And again, if you look under it, it's just a lot of muscle and veins and capillaries that run through. We have a lot of little like, I describe them as strands of hair. And that is all of these here that we can see. It looks like guitar strings too. You can relate that to guitar strings as well. And these are called cordae tendonae. And just by the tendonae, I can say, taking a guess, it's probably tendons. So that's that. Okay. And so, the tricuspid valve. I don't know if we said that. We did say the bicuspid valve. The bicuspid and the tricuspid valve. So let me get my tools here. I should have showed these before. So like I said, we have the right atrium here. Okay. And then we have the auricle of right atrium here. Okay. And then we have the aorta, which is here, the aorta here, and it's so butchered, but it runs through like that. Okay, it runs through like that. And then we have the superior vena cava here, so the superior vena cava there. Okay, I think I named everything. We got coordinate tendonae, mitral valve. Yeah, so that's it. It was very difficult to figure all of this out. I'll be honest. The cardiovascular system is very complex, and it was always one that I was scared to learn about because there's just so many things to memorize, and everything that we can name, the tricuspid valve, the right atrium, the auricle of the right atrium, the aorta, the aortic semilunar valve, all of these things, which I forgot to mention the aortic semilunar valve. So, sorry, that is this portion here, okay? But anyway, so that, each one is so important to the cardiovascular system, and the blood flow of the heart wouldn't be anything without the lungs, obviously, as we had learned earlier this week, because our lungs supply us with oxygen, and our blood needs oxygen. And so in order for our blood to flow the correct way, we need to have the correct amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide in our body. So anyway, for a short week, I think I learned a lot. And that's it. That's my dissection of the sheep heart. Once again, my name is Amanda Valdivia. This is week 2 of Bio 240, and today's date is July 18th, 2019. Thank you.